My name is Tolly, the tree, and I'm tolerant. All day long, bugs crawl all over me. Birds fly in and out of my branches, and that tickles. Squirrels run up and down, and they make nests full of leaves, and the leaves have bugs and itches. And then the winds blow, and I gotta bend this way, and I gotta bend that way, and I gotta bend this way, and that's just how it is. But do I say anything? No. Sometimes I creak a little. That's all I do because that's my job. I'm a tree and I'm tolerant. It's not a bad thing. I actually have a pretty good time. Hi, we're here with Zachary Sullivan from the Schools Out program at YMCA, and we're here to talk about being tolerant. Right now, I'm being tolerant of the wind that is blowing my hair all over the place, but that's okay. And so Zachary, I know that working in the Schools Out program, you have lots of different kids and you have to kind of roll with whoever they are and what they do. Can you tell us a little something about being tolerant?
So tolerance is one of our most important things because, as you said, we have so many different kids from many different backgrounds, many different languages, different home situations, and being able to understand and appreciate every kid for who they are and what circumstances they might be going through is important. Plus, we need to be able to offer and give each kid the support that they need.
Perfect. So being tolerant means you work with whoever you have.
Correct.
Because you have to incorporate everyone in the program and help them feel comfortable and happy. Yes. Okay. And how did you learn this? Did you experience things growing up that helped you be this tolerant person, or your parents were good at this, or what do you think?
I definitely think part of it would be my parents. They were a big influence on me. But another part was I've been going to the Hopkinton Y Day Camp since I was 6. And so there's so many kids there. Like, I think the current number is every week there's like 1,000 different kids, which means the amount of different people you have there is so different that you meet so many people. And I think that had a huge influence on me being tolerant.
Sure, because you're not always with the same kind of person. You have lots of different people, and they switch up all the time. So you have to adapt and accept, and as Kelsey was saying, maybe ignore a few things, right?
Right.
Okay. So do you have advice for kids about why it's good to be tolerant?
You'll never know exactly what the person's going through, and if you're tolerant, you can get to learn who the person is, and you can end up making them some of your best friends, even if you thought you would never be friends with them in the first place.
I love that. So I'm going to repeat what I heard. You meet a lot of different people. You never know who they are, and you get to meet a lot. You never know until you become friends with them. Who they really are, and they end up being some of your best friends.
Correct.
I love that. Thank you, Zachary. I'm here with Kelsey and Mariana of the Schools Out program from the YMCA, and we're going to talk about being tolerant today. So tolerant is when somebody does something that isn't what you would exactly like, or they act in a way that you wouldn't act, but you put up with it and you just deal with it nicely. So what do you guys think about being tolerant? Are there kids in your classes who are kind of disruptive, or things happen that are different from how you would do it? What do you do when that happens? Kelsey?
I just ignore it.
You ignore it. And you know what? I love how you took a minute to think about that. Yeah, you can ignore it. You just let it go. You just act as if they're not being weird or different. And you're tolerant. You ignore it. You let it go, right? How does that happen a lot?
No, not really.
Right. So once in a while. And can you give an example? And don't give me names. Just an example of somebody who did something that you had to be patient with.
They didn't listen to the teacher.
Yeah, they didn't listen to the teacher. And was the teacher tolerant? Did she take a minute to kind of redirect them and help them, or did she sort of just keep going?
She took a minute to help them.
Right. So would you say the teacher was tolerant too?
Yes.
Yes, and teachers have to do that because there are a lot of different kids in the classroom and not everyone's the same, right? So we have to kind of work with what we get and be tolerant to help everyone feel comfortable, right? And get things going. So Mariana, what do you think? Have there been times when something was different than you expected and you had to be patient with it?
Yes.
Can you give me an example?
Yes. I don't know.
Do you have older brothers and sisters or younger brothers and sisters?
I only have a younger sister. I mean, an older sister.
Okay, so sometimes does your older sister do things that you're kind of impatient and you want to get going, or she does something different, or she likes something different than you?
No, but sometimes she's very rude to me.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. And when she's rude to you, what do you do?
I just say stop doing that because it hurts my feelings.
And that's a really good thing to say. But you love her anyway, right?
Yeah.
Of course, because you're tolerant. You understand this is how she is sometimes. But I love her anyway, so I'm going to say, please don't do that. It hurts my feelings. But you understand and you kind of keep going, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so what about people who look different? Do you know anyone who looks different, a lot different, or they act way different, and you sort of just are calm about that?
So there's a boy in my class. He acts very different every time. Because when my teacher's talking, he always talks to his other friends right beside him.
Oh. And does that kind of disrupt you and it's hard for you to pay attention?
Yes.
Yes. And so what do you do about that?
I just raise my hand and tell the teacher that they're talking to each other.
Okay, and what does the teacher do? Is she patient about that and she helps them understand that they need to listen?
My teacher just tells them to stop talking to each other or they will take a break.
Okay. Well, it sounds to me like you girls are both tolerant and understanding, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Keep being wonderful, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, anything else you want to say?
Once someone in roommate, they had to come in my room and sit down.
They needed a break, right?
He was crying, so I just had to ignore it when I was doing work.
Yeah, so you were tolerant. You accepted that he was having an issue, and you just waited. That's really smart and tolerant. I'm here with some of the kids from the Schools Out program at the YMCA, and we're here to talk about why is it a good idea to be tolerant. Tolerant is when you accept someone else even though they're different or they're weird or you would never do what they're doing. Tolerant means you're patient. So why is that a good thing, Jillian?
Because sometimes someone might be left out and you want to help them, but you think they're kind of weird, but you still have to accept it either way.
Right. And do you let them know that you think they're weird?
No, because
No.
then that would be really mean.
Exactly. So that would be rude and mean. So tolerant is including them even though you think they're a little different, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you do that yourself in your life, in your school or wherever you are, Girl Scouts?
Yeah. And I do it because I think that they would just appreciate it if I helped them with something.
You are so right, Jillian. That's awesome. Thank you for being tolerant. Okay, and Wesley, can you tell us why is it a good idea to be tolerant?
Because many people in the world are different or weird, and they all deserve a chance.
You're right. They all deserve a chance, even though they're different from you. So can you think of some times when someone was a little different, but you accepted them and made friends with them anyway?
Yeah, when I was in preschool, there was this kid named Pete, and he was really weird, but I played with him and had fun with him.
Yeah, because even though someone's different, there might be something that you could find that's in common or something that would be fun. So did Pete turn out to be a friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, so even though you think, oh, I don't know, I don't know if I could be friends with that person, they end up being your friend after all if you give them a chance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's a way to be tolerant. And here we have Benji. Benji, tell us, what you know about being tolerant.
Like, so we know everybody's different, right? So like in kindergarten, I had this friend Ben, like, and like he was kind of weird. He didn't know how to speak.
Oh.
Then like, so like I was like, I don't know, should I be friends with him? I'm like, I really don't care. I'm just gonna be friends with him.
Yeah, so you had fun with him even though he couldn't speak. You found different ways to communicate, right? And how did you do that?
Like, like he has this teacher, like, and he uses an iPad to speak.
So you would show him things or let him know what you wanted to do or what you wanted to say, and then he would answer with the iPad, correct? Yeah. Right. So so do you guys still get together and do things now, or you still see him now?
Well, I don't really see him sometimes.
Is he at a different school now?
No, he's in Elmwood, but I don't really see him anymore, though.
He's not in your class now?
No.
Right. But if you did have a chance to sit next to him or be with him in a classroom or an activity, you would certainly say, how's it going? And you would still be his friend.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So what do we want to say about why being tolerant is a good thing? Okay. So why should we tell the kids at home who may be uncomfortable with someone who's a little different? What should we say to them about why it's a good idea? Jillian?
Because if you don't get to know someone, like you don't know their name or something, and you want to be their friend, but you think they're kind of weird, you should always try to ask them, because like if you don't, you'll never know what they're like.
Give it a chance, right? Okay, good. Wesley, what do you think?
Wait, what was the question again?
Why is it a good idea to be tolerant? Let's tell the kids who are watching the show.
It's a good idea to be tolerant because you could get more respect, maybe be thought of a good person, not a bad human.
Right. So be good. You would get respect, and people would think of you and know you're a good person, because you are. I know you are. And Benji, what do you think? Why is it good to be tolerant?
It's a good way to be tolerant because you can have many and many friends.
Right. Many and many friends. If you were intolerant, which is the opposite, and you didn't have any patience with anyone different, or you made fun of them, people wouldn't want to be your friend, would they? No, I agree. Okay. Thanks for being tolerant, guys, and thank you for giving us this time. I'm here with Sophia of the Schools Out program at the YMCA, and we're going to talk about being tolerant. Sophia has been on the show before, but when I was finding other kids to talk about being tolerant, Sophia said, I could talk about that. I know about that. So I'm going to let her tell you what she thinks about being tolerant.
Well, it's important if there's someone who has problems with stuff like tight clothes on them, you should not be the only one to be playing with them. You should always be playing with each other. Even if someone's different, we're all the same in the same way. We're all nice. We should always be nice to each other and patient for each other if there's problems. And we should always have friends to be patient for, because if you're never patient, then that's going to be a problem.
Wow, that was a lot to say. You really knew exactly what you wanted to say. So you were telling me that there's a kid in your classroom that no one plays with, but you make sure to play with him so he feels comfortable in the classroom and that he has a friend. Is that right?
Yeah, she has problems with tight clothes on her, so she always has to wear big clothes, but she's starting to wear better clothes than what she usually wears, but I'm the only one who plays with her.
So, because you understand there's more to her than her clothes. You understand that there's a person in there, and you said we're all the same in the same way, right? So you meant that people need to see each other and recognize each other for what's inside, not what's outside. And that's all about being tolerant, for sure. Okay, is there anything you want to say to the kids about why it's a good idea to be tolerant?
Because you should never judge someone by the front. You should always wait for someone if they have a problem. You should never say, hurry up, 'cause my mom I learned when she had a little foot problem and she had to be on a boot. And I learned I was telling her to hurry up, but then I said, wait, I should be patient for her because she's hurt and she can't really go that fast. So I have to wait for her.
So one of the things I love about Sophia is Sophia pays attention. So you paid attention to yourself when you were being less than tolerant of your mom's slowness, and you paid attention when that other kid wasn't being included because she had bigger clothes, which isn't really a big deal in life. So we really appreciate you, Sophia, and that you're sensitive and tolerant. Any advice to the kids? You sort of gave some. Anything else you wanted to say?
Always be patient for people with problems.
Thank you, sweetie. That's wonderful.
Hey, Reddy Freddy,
What, Piggy Wiggy?
you know what I heard?
What'd you hear?
I heard of a word called tolerance.
Tolerance?
Yeah, tolerance. Tolerance means when you're patient with someone else and you wait for them to finish what they're doing, or you don't mind if they're a little different, or you play with them anyway, even though they don't seem like they might be your best friend at the beginning.
Oh, that's really nice, Piggy Wiggy. Sometimes you're tolerant to me when I don't understand stuff.
Yeah, that's right. I'm your friend, and I don't mind because I just wait to see if you can finish what you were thinking, or I just help you with what you're trying to figure out because I love you.
I love you too, Piggy Wiggy, and I appreciate that you're tolerant. Thank you. What?
Hi, Tolly here again. Here to talk about being tolerant. So, you know what? My tree buddies and I, we have a nice life. We just stand next to each other all day long, and we don't bother each other. We just like hanging out. We just like standing around. We don't complain. We don't talk behind each other's backs. Well, that's because we don't really talk. But you know what? We're tolerant. It's a good way to be, even if things crawl on you, or things fall on you, or you have to blow in the wind. It's okay, it's all good, because we're tolerant. You should try it.
So why should we be tolerant of others? Why bother to be accepting of differences, reach out to someone who seems different from us, or who does something unexpected? Zachary Sullivan, our Schools Out YMCA worker, said that he learned to be tolerant from being at YMCA day camp since the age of 6, where he met many different kids and learned to adapt and accept. Zach says there are many differences in the kids that he works with, different backgrounds, family situations, languages, and more, and in his work, he has to make them all comfortable and happy. He says you never know what a person is going to go through, so you should be tolerant and accepting. Wise words, Zach. Kelsey and Mariana, some of the children at the YMCA program, shared their thoughts on being tolerant. Kelsey thoughtfully said she would ignore different behavior. She mentioned another child in her class who wasn't listening, and the teacher took a minute to help that child pay attention. Kelsey didn't let it bother her. She was tolerant, so she could keep getting her own work done. Good idea, Kelsey. Mariana gave us an example of when her older sister is rude to her, and she speaks up for herself, saying, "Please don't do that. It hurts my feelings." She loves her sister anyway and keeps their relationship good by not getting angry. She just says what isn't working for her. Mariana also gave us an example of boys in her class who talk while she is trying to work. So she raises her hand and the teacher asks the boys to stop. Mariana doesn't get upset. She accepts the situation and knows what to do to fix it. Jillian, Wesley, and Benji talked with us next about being tolerant. Jillian said you should help other kids feel included, even if they seem a little different. Wesley said there are many people in the world and they all deserve a chance. He told us about Pete from preschool, who seemed different to Wesley, but Wesley played with him, had fun, and they became friends. Benji told us about making friends with Ben, who has to use an iPad to communicate words, but with whom Benji had fun anyway. Benji doesn't see Ben much anymore because they are in different classes in school, but he still likes him and considers Ben a friend. Jillian's advice to other kids is, if you don't get to know someone, you'll never know if they can be your friend. Wesley said, you get respect from others if you are tolerant, and Benji says, you can have many friends. So being tolerant is a way to be friends and have respect from others. Sophia, another YMCA student, shared that it is important to play with others, even if they are different, and to be patient with them. She says it is good to recognize how the other person is inside and never judge a person from the front. Her advice is to always be patient with people who have problems. Our puppets, Piggy Wiggy and Ready Freddy, showed us why they are such good friends. Piggy Wiggy is patient and tolerant of Ready Freddy, and Ready Freddy appreciates that. Tolly the tree, our character, lives a life of tolerance. He accepts the things life sends his way, like woodpeckers, rain, squirrels, birds, bugs, and more. He stays calm and continues to enjoy the sunshine without complaint, aside from a little creaking in the wind. So being tolerant is a way to make and keep friends and gain the respect of others. Being tolerant is part of having a good character, and character matters. You can watch Character Matters right here on HCAM on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m., Fridays at 5, Saturdays at 9:30 p.m., and Mondays at 2:30 p.m., or watch online at hcam.tv/Character Matters. You never know who will show up. Hi, my name is Margie Wiggin, and I want to invite you to join me for my new show, Character Matters on HCAM. We're going to talk about why do people choose the behavior that they choose? Why do they choose to be good? We're going to hear from people in history, we're going to hear from local heroes who make great choices, and we're going to hear from some puppets who talk about things they've seen, and they're going to say, what? Did you see that? Yes, I did. Please join us.
From the outside, it looked like I had it all together. Great education, good job. But inside, I was massively insecure. Drinking helped me calm my fears, but I ended up losing everything. When I finally admitted I needed help, I came into Teen Challenge. And as time went on, I didn't feel so insecure. Now my whole world has been rebuilt, and I'm not going to lose it again.
This show often talks to people who have interesting hobbies or careers or different things that they have going on that affect our community.
I'm Mary Arnott, your host.
There is a huge need for providing food for individuals and family.
And that's the key. Is working well together.
You can see more episodes online at our website, hcam.tv.
Hi, I'm Tim Kilduff, and this is Business Matters. Talk a little bit about the history. I mean, you were born into something pretty special, weren't you?
Yeah.
The shop is a safe haven for a lot of people, young and old.
Business Matters is HCAM's show focusing not only on businesses in Hopkinton, but more importantly, the people who run and manage those businesses.
Just a minute, folks.
It's Dive-In Drive-In time, and we got a great western for you today.
Dive-In Drive-In is a new program featuring the HCAM staff's favorite B movies. We hope you'll enjoy these treasured films of yesteryear.
Even if we don't get paid, there ain't no job we trade. We're hard and break and sink and sing along with Santa Fe.
So check out the HCAM TV website at hcam.tv for movie days and showtimes.
Hi, welcome to Great Gardens.
Just make sure that you water regularly and through November.
So I think we can go ahead and start backfilling here. I think fall is one of the best times to plant roses.
When you can squeeze your soil and hold it together, that's good.
Hello, my name is Officer John Corden of the Hopkinton Police Department. I am here to explain some important information regarding opiate overdoses under the Good Samaritan Law, Chapter 94C, Section 34A. First, a person who in good faith seeks medical assistance for someone experiencing a drug-related overdose shall not be charged or prosecuted for possession of a controlled substance. Second, a person who experiences a drug-related overdose and, in good faith, either seeks medical assistance or others seeking assistance shall not be charged or prosecuted for possession of a controlled substance. Third, the act of seeking medical assistance for someone who is experiencing a drug-related overdose may be used as a mitigating factor in a criminal prosecution under the Controlled Substance Act. Lastly, a person acting in good faith may receive a Narcan prescription and administer it to an individual appearing to be experiencing an opiate-related overdose. For more information, please contact the Hopkinton Police Department or Denise Hildreth, Director of Youth and Family Services. Thank you.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Always lock it up.